Listening to Insurance Matchmaking, your path to health, life, and Medicare coverage with Matt Libby Insurance. And now, sharing his knowledge, here's your host, Matt Libby.
Well, good morning. Welcome back to Insurance Matchmaking. And wow, this 4 out of the last 5 weeks, I've had a guest on air, so you don't have to listen to just me. We teased it last week that Kelly Sullivan would be here. Chadwick was on last week. Kelly works with him, but she wears many hats. I guess that's the best way to put it.
I do. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. Kelly and I met, I guess it's about 2 years ago now.
Yes.
We both were in the B&I chapter here. Both of us have moved on to schedules and things like that.
Yes.
Those things don't always work out. And she used to be my banker.
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
I'm still with that
time,
bank.
Yeah.
She still has good relationship with the bank, with Builtwell.
Yes.
You know what? I went blank the other day. What was it before it was Builtwell?
It was First Volunteer
First
Bank.
Volunteer. I knew it was first something, and I couldn't think of that the other day.
Well, that's good. That means that the Builtwell name has stuck.
Yeah. The other thing I tease her about is she's going to talk about BRIK Nutrition here in a bit, but it was like she had that business, her and her husband. That was a business they had, even though when she was working at the bank. My office was up on North Willow, past the bank, and I always said, it's like, you're just not convenient for me to go there. And then they opened their new location in Allgood, and I said, that's still not very handy for me. And then I moved my office to South Jefferson, where all the construction's at, right across the street from the location that they have now closed.
Yes, yes. That construction just is a lot.
Does that really hurt you? I think, like I said, I think we kind of waited. Yes, the construction's still going on, but I would keep saying I think the worst is over.
Yeah.
It's not too bad to get to our office.
No, and, the retail businesses that are down there, too, as long as you're not needing the daily foot traffic, that it's okay, because you're just needing, people to come in here or there. Even the salon that's down there, Curly Locks, that has done a great job. Their clients come in once every couple of weeks or once every 6 weeks. And so their customers will handle that construction. Ours that were coming in daily and then couldn't get into the park. On their way to Prescott. And now all of the traffic down there. Yeah, it was just not happening. So... But yeah, we did have that location. Now we are strictly in Allgood, across from the Walmart in Allgood. And so we're open from 6 to 6 on Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday 7 to 3.
So I know with the Jefferson location, it was BRIK Nutrition. And
yes.
You opened the other location,
it's Allgood Nutrition. Yeah.
Now, but did you kind of combine the names?
We did on the not legally, but on the Facebook, and so people that would understand that Allgood is us.
It's kind of like having your maiden name on your personal Facebook.
That's right. Yeah. So BRIK stands for it represents our family. The B is for BJ or Brett, my husband. The R is for Riker, my youngest son. The I is for Isabella, who's our daughter, and then K, of course, is for me. Right. So
I didn't catch that, but actually, I don't know if I've told you. My legal business name is ALM Marketing LLC.
I don't think I knew that.
Doing business as Matt Libby Insurance.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that's our legal name, but ALM is our kids' initials, and it just works out. We're a blended family, but it worked out that it's alphabetical and birth order.
Oh, I like that. I think a lot of people just talking about business in general and those names, they don't realize that your legal name does not have to be what the public sees. Right. You can have those separate names. You can change it up, and that's it. And that's just a possibility.
Well, in my line of business, that does open up that I can be ALM Marketing, and I can have another business under ALM Marketing besides my insurance business. But
exactly.
ALM Marketing, and that's and that's my legal entity when I contract with insurance carriers. That's who they pay.
Yeah.
They pay. My tax ID is ALM Marketing. Right. I have to fill out that W-9.
Yes. And it allows your CPAs to keep track of the income that's coming in from the different income streams.
Right.
So that makes the bookkeeping side of things easy.
Tell us a little history of BRIK.
A little history of BRIK. Well, I'll start with me. And so I'm born and raised in Cookeville. Been here my whole life, my family too, and went to TTU and got an agriculture degree. I don't know if you knew that, but I graduated with an ag business degree. I've ridden horses my whole life and never thought I would be in banking or finance, but I started my first job at Farm Credit and was a ag lender for 8 years, I guess, before I decided.
Heard that part of the story.
Yes. Before I decided to go home, because if anyone has children and putting them in child care, it's costly. Yeah. And so I went home, and I've also been in Mary Kay in direct sales for over 13 years as well.
Yeah.
And so I did that and raised my youngest for about a year and a half, and then decided I am not a stay-at-home mom. That is not the life for me. And so got the job was first volunteer at the time, and then became the branch manager about 6 months later. Thoroughly enjoyed finance and the banking side of things, and that's where we did meet, was BNI. And during that time, my husband had been a car salesman for a while, which my dad had been a car salesman for 25 years, so in the sales role. And then BJ
still doing real estate.
He's doing real estate now, staying busy. So BJ was at Tri-Green, John Deere Tri-Green.
Oh, okay.
When we were approached about this opportunity of a nutrition club, and basically, it's offering healthy meal replacement shakes that taste good, and then healthy energy teas, etc. And so it took us about 18 months to make that decision before we finally pulled the plug. And BJ, I was like, I'm not leaving the bank, so if we're doing this, it's all you. And so he actually got the doors open in like 45 days, the build out and everything. And it was rocking and rolling down there. We were looking for a second location, and because we knew the construction was coming, we did know that from the get-go, but it was supposed to be a 2-year project, not a 5-year project. So we call it it was God's intervention on the All Good location. There was just a big, if you know anything about All Good, there's not much retail space at all. And so there was a big for lease sign on the old All Good pharmacy. And we thought, shoot, we'll just call. Well, we called, and Mr. Dave Rowland owns the building, and he said, well, I just leased it out. And we were like, oh man. He said, but I think they're wanting to sublease it, and because they don't need that big of a space. So if they're interested, I'll have them call you. So it wasn't a day, and it's actually someone that we knew. It was Stacy and Casey Blackman, and they said, hey, we're going to put a pharmacy back in this spot, but we don't need that. Do you want it to sublease? And we were like, absolutely. So, it was kind of God's way of allowing us to open that, and knew that, the BRIK was going to have its troubles, as some businesses do. And I actually left the bank in May of last year, of 2023, to try to run BRIK and bring the numbers back up. And we did a little bit, but then the construction just kept getting worse. And I called TDOT, and they said, summer, middle of 2025. I was like, it's time to close it.
Yeah.
Once they get it finished, maybe we'll come back out that way. But just not.
Like you said, that even though you have good employees, it's like there's still it's so you can't really be completely hands off. For us, the beginning of the month is general. It's like maybe you want to be in the office the first, because sometimes that's when maybe there's problems with a policy wrote that was supposed to start the first of that month, or they don't have their cards yet, or something like that. So sometimes we'll get calls for things like that, but it's just, we're getting busier. I mean, some of it is just, as the business grows, we get busier. I'm used to it being really slow this time of year.
Okay.
Because it's next month. Well, I say next month. It's already
You're
September
already September, yeah.
In October, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, from October to December, I'm really busy.
Yeah. So that's the swing of business, right? And I love that you know that about your business. And this is the small business director side coming out. But so for our business, the summer months you would think would be the busiest months, and they're the slowest. Yeah. And so this summer was a busier summer than last summer. So I could already tell as soon as school got back that our fall was going to be busier than last fall, just because of the slow times. And so kind of like you, now that your slow time per se is busier, you are probably going to be slammed in October.
Yeah, and then the second part of that statement is the rest of the year I have to work.
Yeah.
That's but right. It's like, it is a sales business. Yes, we consult. I love the education part, and that's one of the things that. Who was it? I was just talking to somebody or listening to a podcast. I think it was a podcast. This lady had been a teacher, special ed teacher, in fact, and then got into direct sales and was doing very well. And the company she worked for said, "Oh, hey, we need everybody to come in early tomorrow. We got a big meeting we need to do." And they said, and the meeting was, "We're closing."
Oh.
And they were cut off from everything.
There's been a few of those lately.
And the thing was, and the company closed, but it's like they had no access to their client base.
Oh.
It was like, it wasn't a competition thing. The place was closing.
Yeah.
But it's like, because the one lady said, I had a bunch of people that were my contacts prior to me working for this company that were in, but they were in her contacts there. She put them all into that one system.
Oh, okay.
And so she had to start over.
Oh, she didn't have them in her phone, or oh man, that was
was how she got into Medicare. And then the ironic thing was, she got in it, got her license, got ready to go on, I think she said March 16th of 2020.
Oh no.
But actually, in some ways, I think she looks back now and she says that was actually kind of a blessing, because it forced her to learn how to do the business remotely.
Yes.
Versus a lot of agents that have been doing it for years. I was in that meeting I was in yesterday. There's still people filling out paper apps and faxing them.
Really?
It's like, I am so glad when these carriers embrace the 20th century.
Yeah.
Not even the 21st, the 20th century. That we could start doing things online.
Yeah.
And fill out electronic apps.
Yeah. Do you ever is there ever an issue with some of your older clients not doing the online app?
Yes. It's a challenge. It's not that I can't do it, because we have ways to do voice signature and things like that.
I gotcha.
That we can do, but the presenting. I mean, I prefer to have people come to the office. I used to do a lot of what I called the road warrior, and actually we're coming up on the break, so we'll touch back on that as soon as this commercial break's over.
All right.
Hi, this is Mark Gall, your local business solutions consultant with Twin Lakes. Is your business ready for a boost in productivity? Looking to elevate your customer experience? With Twin Lakes Gig Speed Fiber Internet, you can do all that and more with fast, reliable service, backed by local 24/7 support. We've proudly served businesses in the Upper Cumberland for over 70 years, and we'd love to serve yours. Give us a call at 1-800-644-8582 or visit us online at twinlakes.net.
Hey, college students, ready to ace your dorm or apartment setup? Dive into your local Habitat Restore. Uncover unique, budget-friendly furniture, decor, and essentials that make your space pop, all while supporting a great cause. From trendy finds to classic pieces, Habitat Restore has everything you need to create your perfect pad. Plus, you can even donate your items that you're no longer using. Stop by Habitat Restore today, off South Jefferson Avenue in Cookeville, now with extended hours. Shop smart, live well, and make a difference.
And now, back to Insurance Matchmaking with Matt Libby Insurance.
All right, and we are back at Insurance Matchmaking with Kelly Sullivan of I guess we're just using All Good Nutrition.
All Good Nutrition, yes.
But when I started in this business, I drove everywhere. Like I said, we did mostly paper apps, so you had to be in person. I didn't have my own office the first year. I had a couple offices I was able to work in. When I got with a company called Health Markets, the guy, when I lived in Oak Ridge, said he was going to rent a little office in Oak Ridge. I said, okay, if you're going to rent a little office in Oak Ridge that I could go work at, I'll join you, see how it goes. That I'd been doing a year with Aflac and made no money.
Yeah.
And then it was on Cedar Bluff in West Knoxville.
Yeah.
Was
good area.
The main office. So I could run appointments at those offices. Pretty much, at least had somewhere brick and mortar could go. But but those first few years, driving all the time. We didn't, and most stuff we couldn't do over the phone, electronic or anything anyway. So we had to be in person. But it's like once I've got my office, and especially since I moved here, and a lot of my clients were East Tennessee, I had to keep telling them, I don't have time. You're either going to come to me or we're going to do it over the phone. I have set like a couple days where I'll go over to East Tennessee and say, hey, I'm going to be here, and I can meet with as many people as I can.
Right.
So I've done that. Yeah, I prefer to do things like by Zoom, or now I'm using, what they call Google Meet.
Yes, Google Meet.
But it's like I can share my screen, because that's a big thing for me is I can talk about this stuff all day long. I know what I'm talking about. But especially when we're on the phone and I can't see you, I don't know when you get that deer in the headlights look.
Yes.
And it's like, but when you're in front of me and you do that, I go, okay, I need to back up. They didn't get what I just said.
Right.
But when they're on the phone going,
yeah,
okay. And then when you get ready, you think, okay, we're ready to fill out. And they start asking the questions.
Yeah.
And it's like, did you listen to a word I said?
No, because it wasn't pertaining to them then.
Yeah. So, they didn't know what it meant, so they just said, well, I'll ask, So, yes, but I do the Medicare 101s. I love that education part.
And you're good at it. You're good at the education part of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So tell us a little bit more about BRIK. You mentioned the shakes and what's your? I know you've done like the waffles and things. What's your best seller?
So there's multiple nutrition clubs in town, and there's over I can't remember the number now. There's actually more. This is a new statistic. There's actually more nutrition clubs in the United States than there are McDonald's.
Wow.
Now currently.
That's interesting. I mean, we've got what? 2 in Cookville?
No, we have 5.
We have 5?
We have 5. So there's 5 in this area. Actually, I think there's 6 because one just opened in Dotson's Branch. But anyway, so we're all kind of different teams, and so we all have different recipes, and we all kind of have different focuses, even though we all use the same product. But where we try to focus is truly on the nutrition side of things and the protein, making sure. I think that's one of the things that most people don't get enough of is the amount of protein per day.
Right.
If you actually tracked your protein, I guarantee that most of these listeners are probably getting less than 50 grams a day when everyone should be getting between 75 and 100 grams a day. And so we have our healthy meal replacement shakes, and they actually taste like they sound. So the Butterfinger tastes like a Butterfinger. The cookie dough tastes like cookie dough, and they're really good. But then we also have, we started making protein waffles, and so there's 30 grams of protein and less than 300 calories in a full waffle, plus, I guess, if you add fresh fruit. Yeah. So we have bananas and strawberries and blueberries, and then we have syrups that are monk fruit and agave, so they're carb-free and sugar-free. And then, of course, you can add things like white chocolate chips, and adds a little bit of sugar and things. But then we also have protein balls. We now have protein chips in the store, and so you're getting that extra boost of protein while you're needing that crunch.
Now, are you making the chips?
The chips are not. They're coming from our supplier,
Okay.
which I'm not allowed to say on air.
Gotcha.
But
I know. I realized you were
dancing around that, right?
That
but if you come to the store, you'll see it everywhere, so you'll know which company we're talking about. And then we've also offered a lot of the other clubs focus on just that high energy loaded tea, which has about 200 to 220 milligrams of caffeine. But we have a lot of caffeine-free options now. And so we have just a hydration electrolyte that you can choose. We have what we call a refresher, which has 20 grams of whey and casein protein and probiotic and biotin and collagen. And here's the thing about us, too, is that we don't skimp on ingredients, and that the supplier that we use is an extremely high-quality product.
Right.
There are other products out there that you could mix into them, but it's going to decrease the quality. As an example, one of our products in our loaded teas is a liquid aloe. And so what the liquid aloe does is it's really good for your digestive tract, and it allows the vitamins and minerals to actually be absorbed into your body. Right? Yeah. But not all aloe is created equal. Yeah. My gallon of aloe that I purchased from my supplier cost over $100 per gallon. You can buy aloe at Walmart for $9.74. There's a difference. One's going to hurt your stomach, one's not. One is high quality, one is not. And so we just don't skimp on ingredients like that.
Yeah.
And so we focus on the true nutrition of what our customers are getting.
Now, you mentioned you have some of the non-caffeinated, like the electrolytes.
Yeah.
Now, do you have the same flavors, or is it just limited flavors on that?
No, you can have any flavor, just like we flavor them, just like the loaded teas. Now, electrolytes in true electrolyte form do have some sugar, where our loaded teas have no sugar.
Okay.
They're sweetened with stevia. Our loaded teas our electrolyte is going to have the sugar. It's still less than 10 grams of sugar, which is much better than like a Gatorade. And then it's also going to have the stevia sweetener.
Now, the stevia is built in. I mean, it's like
correct.
It's
into the flavors.
It's not hey, I got to add some stevia to this.
No, basically it's flavored stevia.
Gotcha.
I guess you could say, in a higher quality per se. I don't know how exactly they make it, but it's good by itself. And then the refreshers, and then we have our boost drinks, which are also caffeine free, and they're kind of like a immunity drink. And so they have 1 billion probiotic cultures in them. They have L-arginine and L-citrulline, 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. I'm trying to think what else is in there. Lots of things. And
vitamin B.
Yes, vitamin B. They're just, and zinc. We got zinc in there too. You can't leave that out. Echinacea. Yeah. So it's just
the echinacea is especially for the not prebiotic, just lost the word I wanted.
Probiotic?
Well, no,
it's got probiotics. It's immunity?
Yeah, the immunity.
Yes. when you're starting to feel like I'm getting something, that boost drink, which they taste phenomenal. That boost drink and it also has our aloe in it as well. Cool. So you get to absorb those, all the nutrients.
And I know you do a lot of where you'll sponsor a day and take a drink, a tea.
Yes, we call them tea drops. Yeah,
okay.
So we haven't done one in a few weeks, but we let people nominate different organizations or businesses or groups, and we'll just go and drop them off some teas so that they've got that pick-me-up.
Now, do you take any kind of orders on that, or you just take like 20 or 30 and say, here?
Typically, we just take whatever we've got for the day. We take those over. Now, we do deliver if, on the days that we're not doing a tea drop that we've chosen.
Yeah.
Anyone in Cookeville, all good. As long as you have 4 or more drinks, we deliver to you before 10 a.m.
Gotcha.
So, but no, it's something that is our family. So our kids go to New Colossus Academy, which is a hybrid school. Okay. And so on Monday and Thursday, they go to school at Stevens Street. And on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, they actually are in our store in All Good doing their homework.
Dropping them off was real convenient when you were at the bank.
Yeah, it would have been. This is the first year we've been at Stevens Street. It was at Church on the Hill, and so it was very convenient the past couple of years. Yeah. But we're looking at getting our own building and all that. That's cool. A whole thing. So, but no, we love our school. And then BJ does their schooling in our nutrition club. But what I love about it, it's a family business. Bella, you come in, you may have my 11-year-old checking you out.
That's the way I
counting the money back. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you know this. I spent the first 10 years of my life I lived in a store.
Oh, I didn't know that. What kind of store?
Little country store.
Okay.
Mom and pop convenience.
Yeah.
Convenience store before there was convenience
bologna
stores.
Sandwiches and
we didn't do sandwiches like that. I mean, but we would slice the bologna.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we had the big bologna logs and we would slice it off. But they have to buy their own bread or whatever. We didn't prepare food.
Okay.
But yeah, I was pumping gas, and this is back in the days of full service. I checked oil, washed windshields.
Look at you.
Aired up tires. I did all that stuff. It was so funny one day, and it's like I didn't even think anything of it. This guy come in out of town, didn't know him because I knew everybody, and he was buying a pack of cigarettes. It's so funny too. I remember one of the stories of I told my mom. She's like, "Yeah, see," and she's like, "But we're talking. I don't know. It may have been after we'd sold the store or something. It was like a group of kids at school. It's like, yeah, we used to go to your store." But you all always watched us the whole time we were there.
Well, did you give us a reason to watch?
I was probably one of those, I don't even remember
Yeah.
that. I just remember, it was kind of like it was all hands on deck when this family came in.
Oh, yeah. That's why.
Because we knew that they would be walking out with things in their pockets. And so it's like the fact that they stopped coming to my store, store, my mom, dad were not upset with that.
No, we're not upset.
But I just remember relating. She said, see, remember that?
Oh, that's good stuff.
But yeah, and we used to do inventory. We were always closed on. We were closed on January 1st, and that's when we did all our inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was little, it was my job. We had like little packs of shoelaces, and that was one of the things. That was my first. That was my first. My job was to count those shoelaces.
Oh, gotcha.
And my aunt was staying with us, and she counted. Oh, I had a meltdown. Because she counted the shoelaces, and that was my job. Yeah, and it's funny. I can still remember it. I probably was like 4, maybe 5. And then as I got older, it was like my job to count the candy. We called it the penny candy.
Oh, because it was a penny back then.
Yeah, it literally was a penny. I can remember nickel candy bars.
Wow.
And And
now they're $4.
Yeah, and when the price went up to, they went up to like 10 cents or whatever. They didn't just go up; they also got smaller. So it's like the 10-cent candy bars weren't even as big as the nickel candy bars.
Yeah.
So I can. I'm showing my age there.
I'd say
65, so if you can do the math, I did that till 10. That was 55 years ago.
Oh, if we could go back to those days.
Oh, man.
I think life was a little simpler then.
It's so funny sometimes, especially when in the business community, and I've worked with people, and they seem really mature, and I'll start to talk about something, and go, "You don't have a clue what I'm talking about." I'm talking to a millennial, and it's like, it's nothing against that. I mean, the millennials are getting into their 40s now,
yes.
So don't think of millennials as teenagers. I think that was kind of the slam a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, these kids, it's not those kids that just now getting out of college. Is like, no, these people are parents, and
these millennials have kids now.
Yeah, but there, there are different attitudes. I'm a boomer. And then you got the Gen Xers in between. It's like, and so we kind of both together make fun of the millennials, but realize it's like, stuff to me is like recent history.
Yeah,
is ancient history. To them, because it was before they were born. I mean, think about it. I mean, 9/11. We get kids
that have no idea.
There's that are graduating college now that weren't born when that happened.
Yeah.
So that's just history to them. I mean, to me, the Vietnam War is history.
Yeah.
I experienced that time.
And for me, like, I've seen it and heard it, but I wasn't there during that. So
yeah.
I think it always shocked me when I was.
We're out.
Oh. Well, you have to cut some of that out.
Yeah, we're going to cut some. But so Michael will come back. You can cut a little bit. You can cut out some of our rambling.
Yeah.
But Kelly, go ahead and tell people how to find you, how to contact you.
Yeah. Well, if you are looking to find me for the Small Business Development Center, you can actually go to tsbdc.org. Sorry, I should probably say that a little slower. tsbdc.org, and go to centers, and you can find me that way. You can also just call All Good Nutrition over in All Good, or just come see me. I'm always in the store from 6 a.m. till about 8:30 or 9, and then I let BJ take over. So you can always find me at the store, and sometimes on Saturdays.
Well, we started running a little long, but had a great time here. And, of course, as I always say, until next week, see you on the radio.
You've been listening to Insurance Matchmaking with Matt Libby, your path to health, life, and Medicare coverage with Matt Libby Insurance.